Okay, hi. This is part two of my thoughts on Beastars season two and the manga. I thought I could contain everything within one video, but of what I was thinking or feeling about it, and I wasn't able to. So here's part two. I will be discussing spoilers, so you have been warned. I wanted to discuss more of just partly what I liked about Juno and Louis as a couple in season two. Well, they're starting to become a couple. Or right now, Juno's still really working through her feelings for Legoshi, and even though she's still pining over him, Lord, it's so annoying. I do think it is funny that how oblivious he is to it. I do like though that her interactions with Louis and that she's right now she really does care about him as a friend. She is the only one that comes from the school to the Shishigumi's place, and she does not like them. They do not like her. And asks Louis, "What are you doing here? You need to come back to school and like finish your credits and graduate." And he's like, "Nope, I'm not going back. I am the boss man here." He was like, "The dear I was back at school is gone forever." And she tells him that he's a coward and that he needs to come back. I think partly why Juno felt like Louis was somewhat being a coward was I think she feels like he has kind of given up on himself, and she recognizes there's a lot of potential in him and is saying, you got a lot going for you. Come on back, and the school needs you. I mean, she recognizes the influence and stability that Louis brings to the school. Um, and Louis is able to recognize like Juno is somewhat maturing. He makes a comment that yeah, she's gone through heartbreak, but she seems like she's doing well, and she is. Um, I think that I would have liked more moments between the two of them, but the season three will probably give us more. Um, the next I think relationship I wanted to talk about was I really loved Louis's relationship with with Ibuki, the lion that I think he saw as a second father figure. I loved how Ibuki was looking out for Louis in a really protective way that I mean, as much as I do like his adopted dear dad, and I think his adopted dear dad really truly loved him as a son, he was really cold and didn't really give Louis the emotional affection I think he was craving. Ibuki was did a better job, I think, of showing emotion and showing how proud he was of Louis. Also, I think Ibuki was really good in showing Louis just how miserable carnivores' lives can be and trying to coexist with herbivores. They don't want to eat herbivores. They don't, I mean, or rip them to shreds, but they're constantly battling these feelings and urges, and they either have to medicate or smoke or eat other things as substitutes. And Louis realizing, well, yeah, herbivores have, things pretty shitty, but, being sold on the black market. Carnivores aren't really doing much better either in that respect, and he wants to change things. I liked Louis' interaction, moving on from him and Mr. Ibuki to the prostitute or dancer. I don't even know her name, but that Louis rescued, she decides to take Louis out for a drink just as to say thank you. And there's a scene where they're sitting in a bar, and she tells Louis, I ca- when I came here, to the black market, life was hell. But she has stayed there so long that she doesn't see herself ever leaving. She doesn't see herself ever changing. She said, like, it took me 8 years to get used to the place, and then she doesn't really seem to have the energy to, make a life choice to get up out of that situation. And she tells Louis, you're still young, you can leave here. And that is a frequent message that in this series, both the first and the second season, is that when you're young, you have the energy to leave a place and go somewhere else that might be better for you. As you get older, you have less and less energy. And it's not, I don't think the message is trying to say being old is bad, but because of course you have, with age comes wisdom, like with Goda, the panda who's teaching Legoshi how to fight and everything. But when you're young, make the most of your energy that you've got to, go where you want to go and do what you want to do in life before you don't have the energy to do it anymore. So, I think Louis was finally starting to be proactive when he realized he loved carnivores, and while he liked the Shishigumi, he also loved Legoshi, and he realized he wanted to go back to school. And he wanted to help Legoshi, and he wanted to help the other students. So he, even though he knew it would upset Mr. Ibuki and the other Shishigumi members, he left. And it was really sad the way Ibuki died. But I think his death helped Louis realized that a lot of people that have cared about Louis, other than his adopted dad, I think at that point, prob, I mean, were non-existent. And then one of the few people that finally cared about him had died, and then he was in danger of losing Legoshi, which he didn't really want to see. I think that's partly why he finally cried, was he realized that not many people care about him, and one of the people that he could finally admit he cared about back was going to die, and he just didn't want to see it happen. So he was going to do everything in his power he could to help him, Legoshi, stay on this good green earth. I do like the idea of Legoshi and Louis as a couple. I mean, there was some moments of that. So yeah, I'm just all over the place on this. But I think one of my favorite moments was when Legoshi gave Louis a big hug, and you saw how his tail was wagging. After not seeing him in a long time, I think that was one of the moments that probably made me watch that ship. And when Legoshi tells Louis, "Run away with me," it's like how somebody would say, "Come run away with me," so we can be together. And unfortunately, Louis rejected his offer and had all the Shishigumi train their guns on Louis. On Legoshi, who was able to still somehow get away like Peter Parker. And let's see. Other than that, it. Oh yeah, I remember what I wanted to mention. Juno and Haru. Those two girls had a really great moment in this series. There is a scene where Juno decides to follow Haru up to where the school garden is. She's just trying to get to know Haru better because she doesn't really see why Legoshi and Louis liked Haru. She doesn't. She just doesn't get the appeal in the little bunny. So she goes up there to the garden, and somehow Haru is able to rope Juno into helping her with all the flowers and everything. And Juno gets to know Haru's good and bad points during this exchange. She gets to know that Haru is a really hard worker. She is the only member of the garden club, but she keeps all those flowers looking so pretty. And she has great attention to detail. However, she gets to know Haru's bad points when Haru needs to get a box down, and instead of using the step ladder near her, she decides to jump up and down to make the all the stuff fall out of the box. And Juno, of course, intervenes and says, "No, don't do this. Use the step ladder." And Haru's response is, "Oh, that would have taken too long, and I like to live life on the edge and cut corners. I just figured this would be a shortcut to make all the stuff come down." And Juno says, "No, you really need to take care of yourself." And then after this, they share a snack. Juno notices Haru is very sweet and that she likes to offer food. And while they're eating the snacks, Juno notices Haru's just really super cute because she's an adorable bunny. However, she also comes to realize that Louis and Legoshi have gone out of their way to help Haru, and not good things have happened with either of them. Louis is, the boss of the Shishigumi now, and he's like, "I'm not coming back to school. I'm I'm the leader of a mob." And Legoshi, she doesn't really know everything going on with Legoshi, but she notices he's not interested in drama club, and he is, paying a lot of attention to Haru, but his academics and his school life seems to be taking a dip, and she's going, "Oh no, you have ruined both these boys' lives, and I'm gonna leave before you ruin my life." And I mean, I think Juno was good to put distance between herself and Haru because she's noticed that Haru doesn't really take care of herself in some ways, and that prompts other people like Louis or Legoshi to want to take care of her, but that doesn't really fix the problem of Haru not taking care of herself. And also, Juno just wants to prioritize her own happiness and well-being. She wants to have a normal schoolgirl life, and she wants to have good grades. And other than, her love life sucking with Legoshi, I'll be so happy when she gets completely over that 100%, probably season 3. She has a lot of friends. She's doing pretty good. Her grades are great. She's got her friends. She's participating in the drama club. She's being looked at as potential B-star candidate because she's got, a lot of positivity going for her. And unfortunately, Haru doesn't seem to be like a positive influence somewhat, and she recognizes that. So, that's, and the series is just wonderful because it addresses mental health, it addresses romance, it, I think, addresses just how, to handle everyday life. And with that, that includes my thoughts on season 2. If you liked or didn't like it, I'd like to know in the comment section. And if you liked what you heard, you can hit like and subscribe. Otherwise, have a great day.